Okay, yeah, it's been brought to my attention. It's about time I started showing some love towards the standard content of this channel and not all indie all the time. And besides, things are progressing online. We might have more on that later. But I don't think there hasn't been quite enough love, I think, given towards the movie Forbidden Planet, which is again many times cited as a major influence on Star Trek. But I don't think anyone really appreciates just how big an influence it really was. And during the development of Star Trek, Roddenberry did screen Forbidden Planet to his production staff, saying, "This is what we're looking for here. This is the kind of thing we're looking for." And you got to think, remember, Forbidden Planet was not a B movie. I mean, it was a major production by MGM. It was basically the Star Wars of 1956. This was not pushed off on the little. It was just in Technicolor and full nine, and they did a lot of strange, a lot of weird stuff in there for the time. Top-notch effects. I think the Lydecker himself, rigged the thing. And it's no blue screen stuff like that. I think blue screen really wasn't. It was around, but not really reliable. It just a lot of hard matte lines. So a lot of it's in-camera stuff. It was an actual star background on the. Everything's very carefully on wires, but the whole feel of it, one is the aspect of the first time you really seen the flying saucers being run by humans and not as part of an invasion force. It wasn't, this is just a ship, and you had some kind of a military organization there. And yeah, there's some 50s kitsch things like the design of the uniforms and the fact the ship is space cruiser C57D. Not give it a proper name, just write some kind of number. But the way the crew interacted, the way they functioned, it was a good solid military organization. Leslie Nielsen, back when he was still doing dramatic stuff, he really was. This is that's the kind of captain we want on this ship here. And I don't know how if the where they all get in the thing and then supposedly kind of get changed into energy beams while the ship decelerates from light speed. And then that didn't make a whole lot of sense per se, but maybe that's stuck in the mind because again they're trying to work out how to do this thing, and you got an example of them landing the ship, and realizing but this is a major production, we can't do that week after week, and it takes up too much damn time. So it's like they may have stuck in the thing. It's like okay, that might be teleportation was not a new concept, so it's like, okay, maybe something like that, where you just say we're going to the planet, quick shot, they're in the room, optical, they're down on the planet, saving time. It's got to be cheaper than landing what was considered at that point a 14-story ship on a planet every week. And besides, you allow for landing in an area where you wouldn't be able to land a 14-story ship. It's like it's in a little ravine somewhere or inside a building. And it's just a quite little, it's quite a time saver. And again, you only have an hour to tell a story, so you can't spend a big chunk of it with effects. You gotta get right to it. But even the weapons, if you look at the first offerings by Desilu were the hand lasers, and they were thinking conventional. No, that's not what we want. And I'm sure they've come back because the design of the blasters in Forbidden Planet. The handle's about halfway there, and they got they're a little reminiscent of what the phaser turned out. And by this point, and by the time they get into the regular production, it's like Matt Jeffries is now designing a lot of stuff. It's not just the sets and stuff. He's in the ships. Like, design me a handgun. Okay, design me a zap gun, and you got the phaser. I'll throw up the picture of the thing on here. But it's like. But also the type of story being told. Not unlike what the Cage brought us. It's like kind of a psychological thing. The monsters from the id. It's all psychological. Very little is about the gadgetry and stuff and the gee whiz factor of the whole thing. It's all you're in the story. You're in there with the guys. You don't give a rat's ass how the blaster works. All you care about is you pull it, you pull the trigger, it works. You don't have to explain how the ship lands or how it comes in and get on with it. It's like Roddenberry said in the Writer's Guide. Joe Friday does not spend 10 minutes explaining the functions of his 38 police special, how the primer works, what the powder, the powder, and the ballistics of the bullet. Matt Dillon does not go into an expository thing about the breed of his horse. Okay, you pull the gun, you shoot it, you move on. You get on the horse, you ride. That's and that was a big thing of the sense of realism. The bringing to you wanted in Star Trek. It's like, no, it's light. This is our universe. We just go with it. Okay, don't need to explain everything. Don't get caught up in why a phaser does what it does. It does what it does because it says what it does. Okay. Our point is the story at hand. And again, Forbidden Planet was very much like that. So yeah, that's why some people have gone to some lengths to actually try and incorporate the events in Forbidden Planet into Star Trek's back history. No, don't leave it alone. Okay, you don't need to go that far. It's enough. It's a major creative influence. It got the gears rolling towards that, but let's not go crazy here. Okay, especially since they came up with Enterprise and those things that wouldn't fit anyway. Okay. But it needs to be hailed. Okay, this was a major influence, and not just in the fact that it was a big thing. It was a lot of the structural things were sparked out by Forbidden Planet, and of course also Roddenberry's past of writing other stuff. A lot of westerns, a lot of Have Gun Will Travel, and that grounded a lot of it. But also, Forbidden Planet was an example of how you can take that grounded approach and apply it to science fiction. So, if you have not seen Forbidden Planet, get it. Find it online somewhere. Some service has got to have it somewhere. Or get the DVD or Blu-ray somewhere and check it out. You owe it to yourself to watch this thing. As any, just a science fiction fan in general, a Star Trek fan in particular, you need to watch this movie, because it's kind of learning some of the roots, and also realizing that, no, not all 50s sci-fi was big bug-eyed monsters because of some atomic blast. Okay, there was some serious good stuff out there. So that should do it. I think we will talk at you later.